Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Highruler, and today's video is going over the weekly developer update for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Now, this one is going to be on the shorter end here, and there are some things to talk about, and I was kind of debating whether to make a video on this or not. And I'm going to do it because I won't be here next week, so I figured why not get the video out today, talk about some things, and kind of give you guys my thoughts leading up to the launch of Season 1 on March 28th, because probably up until then, I'm not going to be around too much, so figured why not, let's talk about it and discuss everything that is going on with this game. Alright, so they say, hello people in Metropolis. It's less than 2 weeks now until the release of Season 1, which means it's almost time to refill your jetpack, charge up your bat drone, or crack open a can of your favorite Australian lager as you dive into a new Elseworld. First off, though, let's start with an update on the state of the game in the next patch. State of the game. We know that many of you are eagerly awaiting the next patch, which will include many fixes and improvements to ongoing issues. This patch will be releasing Tuesday, March 26th, and will include the download for Season 1, which will go live on Thursday, March 28th. Now, I had said this last time, and I know some people had a pushback on me there. I said the way they were wording things would make it seem that the next patch would be the Season 1 patch. Now, this is exactly what this is. It's a preload for Season 1, so all the assets will be there, including stuff that will be data mined before the official launch of it, mind you. But this will also contain probably a lot of the fixes that people are waiting for, including the mastery level fix. Now, they go on to say, additionally, we're continuing to work on backend fixes to improve login, load time, and multiplayer issues. Earlier this week, we implemented a backend fix and have already seen improvements, which we think will alleviate issues for a number of our players. Now, if you guys aren't following Sadat and Jay the Shock Blast, it seems like this backend fix has actually started to work for a few of those issues. It seems like Jay and Sadat weren't able to play the game with each other, but they were just able to play the game with each other today. And while Jay wasn't able to kind of progress his mastery level, it seems like this is kind of a good step forward to alleviating a lot of the multiplayer stuff that people were impacted by. They say for players still experiencing multiplayer or load time issues, we also recommend resetting your custom key bindings and or controller layout to default. This should help reduce these issues for more players while we work on a solution for all players. This fix also includes an improvement to matchmaking, making it easier for you all to find other players to join your squad in multiplayer sessions. Now, this was a huge one here because I have said that before that even though my mastery levels don't work solo, the multiplayer aspect makes it feel like it's another hurdle for me to get into the game itself. So if they're able to at least improve the multiplayer stuff, and I'm not excusing the mastery stuff, but if I can at least go in there and play multiplayer easily, then at least I can at least play the game without having to jump through a bunch of hoops. Because a lot of the time, and I think a lot of you guys can also, agree with this, you would go to queue up in matchmaking, but it just wouldn't find anybody. Or if it did, it took a while. Now, people are going to say, well, that's the numbers, Highruler, of course. But we're talking very early on when the game first launched that these were issues with the matchmaking, right? So while, yes, maybe the state of the game and the numbers may, kind of make that situation a little murkier, when it actually first came out and these multiplayer issues were happening, that was at the height of the peak of the player population, right? So hopefully this makes it easier now for any of you guys who are still grinding out those mastery levels to get in, play with others, have some fun before the launch of Season 1. All right, so the rest of it just goes into some build guides. And then right here, it says, who wants to be a millionaire? After you guys quickly deduced the DC supervillain for last week's teaser, plus a couple of other hints for Season 1 in that video, we wanted to give you another preview of a notorious weapon coming soon. It took us a while to choose which weapon to show, but in the end, we had to tip our hat to how good this one looks. And obviously, if you guys don't know, this is going to be from Mad Hatter here. And it looks cool. One of the things I've seen is that, obviously, it's cool to see the things happen, right? The grenade last week, and then obviously the weapon this week. But I think one of the cooler things would be, what do these things do, right? What is the effect that we're going for here? And of course, we're obviously asking for a bit there, but with Season 1 launching in 2 weeks, I'd like to think that they could at least say, hey, here's what this does, here's how it could fit in, or something like that, right? It seemed like before the game launched and they were talking about gear, they gave a very detailed explanation for a lot of the different gear pieces you could use, right? And now it seems like instead of giving us some more of those details, some of those intricacies for these gear pieces, it's like, here's the grenade going off, or here's the weapon. And it's like, well, you guys set a standard. Could you at least, uphold that standard a little bit? But I digress. I feel like that's a little bit farther down on the totem pole of things going on. I mean, when it comes to the totem pole and things that are happening in this game, I'm kind of split, right? Obviously, part of me wants to be excited for the 28th, right? Now, if we get to the 26th, we download the patch, we check the patch notes. And for myself, if my mastery levels are still broken, right? And that is something that says fixed, awaiting release still under Discord. If I have that happen, I'm just done with the game, right? For me, that's a cutoff point, the 26th. Now, if on the 26th, that issue is fixed, it's ready to go, then I will be a very excited man for the 28th, right? And I think many people would fall into that category, right? Because obviously, if you have issues, it's hard to bring yourself to be excited about something you still have issues with. And I think a lot of people are waiting for the 26th. Do I think the 26th, and more so the 28th, is a make or break for the game? Maybe for the more casual audience. I think this game, much like Avengers, will have a very dedicated core audience that will always play the game and that will always be involved. Do I think if they really bungle the release of Season 1, will that kill off a lot of casual interest? Of course. And I think they just won't recover after that, right? I think what happens is that the Season 1 launch is your baseline standard, right? That's what people will always refer back to. If your Season 1 launch is really, really good, it buys you goodwill in case like a Season 2 launch doesn't go well. But if your Season 1 launch is abysmal, it's bad, it's not good, it just writes it off right there. And so I think, while yes, there will always be people who will play Suicide Squad, I think if you're looking to bring people back, if you're looking to bring waves of people back, and you're looking to kind of spark some new interest, Season 1 has to go perfectly. And I think Season 1 will have an idea of how that's going to go on the 26th. If we see a lot of good fixes in the 26th, Season 1 hopefully will go well. But if on the 26th that patch drops and there's not really a lot of fixes, I don't think the 28th is going to be the day that anyone thinks it might be. I think if you're on the more negative side, that it could be a bad day. But it all depends on what the 26th provides us. So that's all I got for you guys today, man. That's just a quick little video of Suicide Squad. I'm away next week, so no videos, no Friday video. Kind of, we'll see what happens. I'm sure I'll be on Twitter looking at it. But in terms of anything else, I'm pretty much AWOL until, I'm back from vacation. So as always, guys, appreciate all your support. I'll see you guys in about a week's time. Enjoy the rest of your evening and night. Take care of yourselves. Later, guys.